Hello, Internet! Welcome back to Mutton Chop Gaming. I'm the Mutton Chop Gamer, and I'm going to answer a potential question. Why did I rebrand myself from Mutton Chop Game Critiques to just Mutton Chop Gaming? Well, partly was to sound less pretentious, but also to open up the show for more than just game reviews. Now don't get me wrong, I love reviewing games, but it might spice up the show to maybe have an editorial or an interview with someone prominent in the games industry. That said, here is the first interview. I have the creator of the Reincarnation series of games, Christian Aloni, here with me to talk about Reincarnation, the root of all evil. Now, Chris,
what was it like? Were you campaigning on? What was it like when you were campaigning on Kickstarter? What difficulties were there, and what benefits would you have from working with Kickstarter instead of working on your own time?
As far as, like, getting the project going, or...
Yeah, as far as getting the project going, like getting the root of all evil ready to roll.
I mean, Kickstarter is great for advertising, because it gets people who would have not have seen your project in that community to become part of your project. And, what was part of the other question?
Like, what difficulties did you have working with Kickstarter, if any?
Difficulties? Not many. I found that it was... I probably shouldn't have done a Kickstarter until I was more into my project. Just because there's so many variables on what could happen. Like, for me, I lost my composer, and I lost my coder at the time, and then bad things kept happening. So it puts a lot of stress on you when you got all these people waiting for you who, like, put up money, the backers, and for them not to have their product when you think it's going to be ready by.
Okay. So, that's one of the big hurdles, I guess you would call yourself an indie developer now because of this.
Yep.
Is there anything else besides the organization that would be a big problem with the creation of this game?
Well, one of the difficult things is, with this kind of game, since it is an adventure game, is writing the story and having creative puzzles and stuff. That's one of the main obstacles, besides any other little things like losing coders and musicians and stuff.
Right. I mean, game design isn't exactly an easy thing to do.
No, well, you start with different stages. I mean, people do it differently. What I did is start writing it all down to like a notebook or whatever. And from there, I storyboarded on like the wall of my house and stuff, and just to see where things got mapped out at.
All right. Do you feel like the past projects of the Reincarnation series have really helped you understand how to make this the magnum opus?
Yeah, I actually go back and play some of the old ones sometimes just to see how bad they are, because it really shows me like where I've come from and where I'm going with the project. Before it was just simple stuff, like I actually made the first one all on my own, and now it's the map of the whole entire game it's bigger than anything I could have ever imagined.
All right, so in your own words, what is the basic premise of the game?
Let me see, try to sum it up in a sentence. Hell has changed, and now you play as a demon named Vile, who has been the main character of all the Reincarnation games. He wakes up into this new hell and tries to figure out what's going on and what's causing things to be different.
Right, and how long will this game be compared to, from what I can tell, is the longest Reincarnation game, Let the Evil Times Roll, the one that was in New Orleans?
We're currently on we're gonna release in chapter 1 this year, hopefully, unless something else goes wrong.
Okay.
But just chapter 1 alone is probably triple the size of Let the Evil Times Roll.
Really? This is pretty ambitious of you.
Yep.
All right, so I've seen concept art of Riley, which is from like the second game, put into that I think is basically going to be in this one, basically by the quality of the image. So, can we expect more characters from previous Reincarnation games in the Root of All Evil?
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of cameos. Riley's gonna play a bigger part. I can't go into too much detail about that, but yeah, you're gonna get a lot of cameos from past characters.
All right. What is the biggest gameplay difference between Root of All Evil and the other free Reincarnation games?
As far as like how to play it, or
How to play it? That would be, yeah, let's go with how to play it.
okay, well, in the other ones it was a lot of hiding and point and clicking, just looking around the room and making stuff float to you. In this one, you actually are gonna be able to walk around and interact with a lot more objects. Also, as far as gameplay, we're gonna try. Well, it's definitely gonna be end up on mobile devices, so that's gonna open up a new field of gamers for us.
All right. If the game is successful on mobile devices and on PC, if given the opportunity, would you make console ports, or is it already a nightmare enough?
It's already a nightmare enough. I mean, but if it's successful, I would love to get out to as many different ports as possible. The issue with console is the priciness of it.
Right. Will there be a lot of interaction between Vile and other demons in this one? I remember he had spoken to demons earlier, but it was only a few sentences at a time.
Yeah, as far as the mini games, I've never really went into the plot too much of how the world works and all. So I try not to give too much stuff away. With this one, there's going to be a lot more interactions with things in hell. Like the first two chapters of the game take place in hell.
All right. So that's pretty cool. Considering that we have been through hell and the human realm, does that mean that we would get to see heaven in this game, or is Vile calling that a no-go?
No, there's not going to be any other realms mentioned in this game. Just heaven and hell.
Earth
I'm
and hell.
sorry,
Earth and hell, okay. And considering that Vile cares about not letting innocent people get hurt when taking reincarnates back to hell, would you say that he has a good heart for a demon, or he just doesn't want to get fired?
It's all about ego with Vile, so it has nothing to do with being good. I'd call him an anti-hero, but he's just too evil for that.
All right. And is there anything I haven't asked that you would like people to know about this game?
It's coming about. It's been, I think, 3 years since we've ended the Kickstarter thing, and it's been very stressful, but eventually it's going to come out this year. At least chapter 1 is.
All right. I'm sorry I couldn't be originally part of the Kickstarter, but thank you for the interview.
And if anyone here would like to pre-order the game, you will find a link below in the description. That's it, and I'll see you all next week.